Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? How about that? Today is a day off according to the schedule. By the way, why are you still here? There is no stream today. What the fuck? What the hell is going on? Hello, hello. Hello, Iguduk. Hello, Coppercasted, Mutually Assured Seduction, Mustafa, Scott, Dev, Coppercasted, Sodin Simp, Nihilus, Stream, Dead Feed, Hukotos. There's so many new people rebel there. Ozichnikod, hello, hello, Yetanasov, welcome, welcome, Darwin Sydney, Aaron6969, Alpha Q, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dithenur, Daniel42, Lubiar, Joby Booty, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Daryl Farrell, welcome. Really glad to see you all today. So today is Thursday, and that means today, according to the schedule, there is no stream, as already mentioned. There is no streams. Today is a day off, but since there's currently Advent of Code in place, I decided to stream anyway of schedule and solve the 16th problem of Advent of Code. And you know, according to this tradition, every problem has to be solved in a different language. So we are running out of languages. We're really running out of languages. And today, today's language is going to be Ruby. Ruby was quite popular some time ago. Like, it was insanely popular. I think it was as popular as JavaScript today, right? And then its popularity like declined like really quickly. Really quickly. But what's funny is that I always say that story is that I always like had this plan at the back of my head to take a look at Ruby throughout its popularity, and then the Ruby just died, so I never had an opportunity to look at that language. So but yeah, maybe today I'm gonna take it as an opportunity to take a look at Ruby and maybe solve a problem in it. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. How everyone's doing. Let's go. So let's go to here. So you can find the source code for all my solutions here, right? So we already solved 15 problems. Today is going to be 16th one. And here are all of the languages that we use so far. As you can see, we're using absolutely different languages for each individual day. That's the law. That's the law. Anyway, let's create the 16 Ruby folder and let's just go there. So I'm going to prepare the boilerplate thingy before I even look into the problem. I haven't read the description of the problem, by the way. That's the whole point of the streams. I don't read the problems. I read the problems on the stream so you can see my raw, unfiltered reaction to the problem. You can see me suffering and all of that goodness, all of that for the content, all of that for the content, right? Reaction streamer, by the way, reaction streamer. So let's start Emacs. And yeah, let's go. Do I even have the Ruby extension, I wonder? So it's going to be main RB. If I remember correctly, the extension of Ruby is RB, right? I wish you would give me a Wikipedia article, because Wikipedia article usually tells you the extension of the file for the language. Yeah, it is in fact RB. I know a couple of keywords in Ruby. I know there's like def key. Oh, there we go. So there's probably if keyword, there's probably class keyword. As you can see, we do have support for Ruby here. And I wonder if it's actually comes like out of the box, or is it something that I installed at some point? No, I never installed anything like that. That's really interesting. So maybe the Ruby support in Emacs comes out of the box. I don't know. Dexter Codes, hello, hello. So the first thing I usually do is I parse command line arguments, right? So Ruby command line arguments. Oh, and you know what? I also remembered, like I never really programmed in Ruby, but I had to you know, work with Ruby scripts. Like I had to run Ruby scripts and stuff like that, or maybe sometimes like look through them for the problems, but I never actually, you know, wrote anything in Ruby. And one thing I remember is that the REPL of Ruby is IRB. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. So you can do experimentations in that REPL, and that's going to be very handy. So we have RGV. Okay, that's cool. Oh, you can even do for each. This is actually pretty simple. This is a very simple language. I really like that. So RGB, here it is. So we don't have any command line arguments. I wonder if I provide something here. Hello world. Oh, it will, you know, put them as a command line arguments to the repo. But can I do something like this? Nah, you cannot do anything like that, unfortunately, but yeah. So I suppose you don't need any like main function or anything like that. We can just do something like arg in RGV, right? And I have to do just end. Let me just do put RGV Derek. Hello Derek, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How are you doing? So if I try to run this thing, will it run it? What if I provide some arguments? Oh, look at that! It automatically removes the file path and the executable from the arguments because they know that you almost never need this kind of information. Almost never. There's only one case I know when you do need the name of the program, right? And it's when you implement something like BusyBox. How many of you know what is a BusyBox? So BusyBox is essentially like whole core utils of Unix as a single executable. Like, you know, ls, cd, no, not cd, cp, vi, and all of that stuff, you know, like the core utils, like the whole set of core utils, POSIX core utils, but as a single executable. So to make this thing act as a different tool, you basically create a symlink to that executable with the corresponding name, and then when you execute the program, it looks at its name and dispatches to a different tool. So this is the only use case I know when you do need the first argument to be a program name so you can dispatch to a different tool. And I never encountered any other use cases for that, seriously, never. Maybe useful for usage, I don't know, like it's not that critical, it's not that important anyway. But for BusyBox, knowing the name of the program is like the essential part of the functionality. You can survive without like having this in usage. You can survive with that, but you cannot survive without it in BusyBox, and that's the only use case I know. Anyways, so yeah, here's the arguments, and I also want to be able to define you know, thing called solve file, right? And I suppose like it's a like scripting dynamic language, right? It's a scripting dynamic language. If I want to create a procedure that accepts an argument, I can just, you know, do it like that probably. So file path, and I suppose this is how we do that, and then we can do something like puts file path, and I wonder if I can do something like input file, and can I put a comma here? I have no idea if I can do that, so I'm just, you know, guessing how you would do stuff like that. So I might as well actually rename this to file path, and then I can try to do something like that, and it just worked. Would you look at that? It just worked, but unfortunately for each individual thing here, it created like a new line. Let me see. Let me see. Ruby string interpolation. Imagine thinking that I have time to read documentation. Okay, so oh, you can do it like that. Cool. So that's exactly what we're gonna do here. Oh shit, Emacs even supports that. That's so super cool. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, boys and girls. That's what I'm talking about. Who needs stinky documentation if you can just Google up what you need and just fucking use it? I mean, come on, who fucking reads documentation in 2020? Seriously. What you need is just a set of examples, right? Because all of the languages are the same shit anyway. So they still implement the same concepts, right? You just need like a table. Here's the concept, this is how we do that in another language. Here's the concept, this is how we do in that language. You don't need any documentation or any bullshit like that. It doesn't fucking matter. And Google actually solves that quite fucking easily. Come on. Start living in 2020. So I would even say that 2020 is like a post-language era, right? Like a philosophical era, right? So there was like a language era where a specific language actually mattered, and now we live in a post-language era where the language doesn't matter. So the notion of the language becomes so obscure, so useless, you can simply forget about it. Just forget about the languages. There's like you and computer, and you're telling the computer how to do things. There's no language. It's just, you know, useless concept whatsoever. So now we can do this kind of stuff. We can read the files and everything, and I think we are ready Well, you know what? Let's actually learn how to read files in Ruby. Read file. How do you read file? Might as well actually. Let's imagine that we have like sequence of numbers, right? So this is going to be like a sample. I haven't read the problem yet. I don't know if this is like a correct input for the problem. So, but I just want to try something out. Read whole file. How can I read the whole file? How to read the whole file in Ruby? Cool. So we can do IO read. Nice. So I want to try something like this. IO read. It's gonna be sample txt, and yes, look at that. Don't look at that. It's actually that is simple. Haha. Okay, so Ruby split string by lines. How we can split shit by lines? So Stack Overflow, jump, hello. Oh, you can, given the Ruby code, this output, I would like the output. Okay, so can I do something like split new line? Holy shit, this is that easy? Okay. Okay, so if I want to convert like string to a number, right? Ruby string to number, how would I do that? Convert a string to a number in Ruby. Come on. Okay, so there's a bunch of, so it does that automatic, no implicit conversion. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Look at that. So it doesn't have, holy shit, this is actually quite cool. This is quite cool for a scripting language. Yeah. So it's strongly typed, no automatic conversion bullshit. I really like that. I really like that. So, and a string object has methods. So it's a method of the string object. So yeah, 69. All right. So that means I need some sort of a map. Can I call map? It does have map. I can just map things. Okay, how do I do lambda in Ruby? Lambda. Show me how to do lambda. So it has blocks, procs, and lambdas. Okay, so it has several concepts that probably serve the same purpose. But specifically here, I would like to use lambda. Lambda, what is lambda? Okay. Lambda with this proc. Is that how we do that? This is a proc. Okay, Ruby map sequence. Is Ruby popular language? Who cares? Who fucking cares whether it's popular or not? Okay, so I can do something like map s, right? And then I can do to I. Holy shit, it works. Yeah, so this is basically what we can do. You can read the file, split it by lines, map it to integers, and there you go. You have a list of integers from a file. How about that? How about that? Can you Python do that? Can you Python do that? It's actually quite cool, mate. So I want to save this thing somewhere here for future references. Maybe it's going to be useful. Maybe it's gonna be useful. Map is delicious concept. Yeah, it's such a new concept. It's not like we invented it 50 years ago. Yeah. It's such a fresh and delicious concept. Oh my god, I love it. So we advanced in language design so much over 50 years. Oh my god. So, okay, let's go into reading the description. Before we're gonna read the description, I forgot to actually pour myself some water. So I'm gonna quickly go to the kitchen and, you know, refill my water. Refilling my water. Let's go. Have you heard about the race? No, I never heard about them. Tell me more about it. Tell me more about them. fucking coming. I came. It's a bunch of variables under the same name. Holy shit! Never heard about that. That's so cool. Okay, shut. Are you ready for epic advent of Chorus? So the problem 16. Ticket translation, right? So before I read that, I want to actually drink some water. Cheers. Oh, all right. So, as you walk into yet another connection flight, you realize that one of the legs, your legs, of your rerouted trip coming up is on a high-speed train. However, the train ticket you were given is in a language you don't understand, just like I am programming a language that I don't understand, Ruby. I've never programmed in Ruby before. So, you should probably figure out what it says before you get to the train station after the next flight. Unfortunately, you can't actually read the words on the tickets because it's write only. The ticket is write only. You can, however, read the numbers, so you figure out the fields these tickets must have and the valid ranges for values in those fields. The fuck you want from me? However, read the numbers and so you can figure out the fields these tickets must have and the valid ranges for the values in those fields. Okay. You collect the rules for the ticket fields, the numbers on your tickets, and the numbers on the nearby tickets for the same train surface via the airport security cameras. Together into a single document, you can reference your puzzle input. Is that my puzzle input? Seriously? Okay, it's not the puzzle input. Like, for a second I thought this is the shit I have to parse. Luckily I didn't have to parse that. The number of tickets to get into single document, you can manage the puzzle. The rules for the ticket field specify a list of fields that exist somewhere on the ticket and the valid ranges of values for each field. For example, a rule like class from 1 to 3 or from 5 to 7 means that one of the fields in every ticket is named class and can be only values in the range from, okay, inclusive such that, Each ticket is represented by a single line of comma separated values. Each ticket represented by a single line of a comma separated value. The values are the numbers on the ticket in the order they appear. Every single ticket has the same format. For example, consider this ticket. Okay. Here represents the text in a language you don't understand. This ticket might be represented as okay. So of course the actual train ticket you're looking at are much more complicated. In any case, you've extracted just the number in such a way that the first number is always the same specific field, the second number is always a different specific field, and so on. You just don't know what each position actually means. Start by determining which tickets are completely invalid. These are tickets that contain values which aren't valid for any field. Ignore your ticket for now. For example, suppose you have the full... Oh my god, this is so boring to read. Okay, so for example, suppose you have the following notes. A class, row, seed, and this is my ticket, and these are nearby ticket. It doesn't matter which position corresponds to which field. You can identify invalid nearby tickets by considering only where the tickets contain values that are not valid for any field. In this example, the value on the first nearby ticket are all of the valid at the seeds of field. This is not ticket the scanning nearby ticket values for and this value. So okay, ticket scanning error. Okay, consider. So what is your ticket scanning error? What the fuck do you want from me? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, one more time. Holy shit. It doesn't matter which position corresponds to which field. You can identify invalid nearby tickets by considering only where the tickets contain values that are not valid for any field. In this example, the values on the first nearby ticket are all valid for at least one field. This is not true of the other 3 nearby tickets. The value for are not valid for any field. Adding all of these values up produces the ticket scanning error rate. Okay, so okay. Consider the validity of the nearby tickets you scanned. What is your ticket scanning error rate? Holy shit. Okay. Ooh. Cheers. I think I understand what they want from us. So how does the input look like, by the way? So is that the sample? Let's take a look at the input. Okay. Cool. So here are the notes, and they're separated like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. And let's grab this input here. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me, by the way. Yeah, thank you for reminding. I keep forgetting that. Oh shit. Fuck. I keep forgetting that I always have to add to my title here and today. Right, here and today, because people keep asking that for already like a week. What's been like that, a week, and people still keep asking about that apparently. Yeah. So input txt. Okay, so let's actually grab this entire thing. Now, and I suppose the sample can be also added here. So this is not a valid sample, so we'll have to put it like that. And the first thing we have to do, we have to actually parse all of that shite. We have to parse all of that shite, unfortunately. So let me see what would be the best way to parse all of that. So here's the sample. I don't need to map everything to integer, so we have something like that, and we do have separate fields. Is it possible to split arrays also by something like this? Okay, so you cannot split arrays or lists or anything like that, but is it even array? Is it even array? Type of? There's no anything type of. Okay. So Ruby arrays. Are they called arrays or are they called lists or something like that? Are they called arrays or lists? So they do look like arrays. They do look like arrays. And how do you split an array? Ruby split array. How to split chunk array into parts of X elements? Okay, so each slice 3 in a group of 3. Okay, that's is there any list of all of the elements of the array? All of the elements, all of the field methods or something. Is there something like group split? Permutation product, resoct, replace, rotate. There's a take while at least. Yeah, there's take while, so we can use take while, I think. Take while, so it's gonna take s. While s is not equal to empty list, I hope that will work. And that didn't work because why? Because I actually put a thing here. There's a take just above. Really? Thank you so much. I didn't know that. Okay, alright, so we can do something like that, and I suppose there should be something like drop, right? There should be something like drop, and yeah, there's also drop while. Since there's like a drop while, do they have something like span? Do they have something like span? They don't seem to be having anything like span, so that means I'll have to use a combination of both drop and take. Drop and take. So this is the next thing. And is there like something like tail? How can I? There's a okay, so I can do drop and then I can drop 1 afterwards. Right. There we go. And then I can take while this thing is not empty yet again. And this is how I basically can parse those things on a higher level. Right. Yeah, it has to be like a curly braces and whatnot, right? It has to be curly braces. There we go. So your ticket, cool. Yeah, this is actually pretty straightforward. This is actually pretty straightforward. Now, let's actually do the parsing, I suppose. So here's the solve the file. So I do IO read file path. Here's the file path. Oh, by the way, apparently they use snack case. Right, so they all use snack case, so maybe I should use it as well, right? Because that's sort of a tradition, seems to be a tradition in Ruby. For some reason I thought they like to use camel case, but apparently they don't. I'm actually okay, I actually like snack case better, because I come very often, I come from the C background and we use snack case there. So yeah, okay, so I'm gonna read, I'm gonna split everything by lines, right? And I'm gonna start, you know, splitting things accordingly, right? So let's call it input, I suppose. Let's call it input. And now we're gonna do what? Fields. So we're gonna have something like fields. Input, take, while. Is there any easy way to check whether the string is empty? Is empty. Okay, so let me find it. String. Which code editor is this? This is Sublime, Sublime code editor. Sublime. This one. Yeah, so I'm currently using this thing. It's actually pretty cool. It's quite expensive, but it's worth it. So you just basically pay how many, like 80 bucks, and yeah, you get pretty much the same environment as I have here. So I really recommend this text editor. So check it out. It's really cool. I really recommend it. It's worth its money. Seriously, I use it every day. Okay, so now. String class, string, what do we have here? Well, does it have any methods? Empty. Oh, it's a question mark. It accepts it as a question mark. Would you look at that? That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. And then, can we do something like not empty? Yeah, that's a cool. But maybe it has non-empty. Wait a second, empty. Usually, like, these kind of languages have like an opposite. Yeah, it doesn't have an opposite, whatever. So it's gonna be X, maybe S, empty, while not empty. Right, and so here are the fields, and then I'm gonna do input, drop while, drop while this thing is not empty. I wonder, can I just do something like one? I can do something like that. 3, 2, 3. So that I can split that by n, and then can I do something like, no, not by n, but this. Syntax, what? Oh, okay. I don't know what the fuck was that, but whatever. And then can I do take while empty? Why can't I do that? It would be so... or maybe I can do something like this. This is so unergonomic. I want a language where I can just do something like empty and it would automatically, magically do all of that for me. It's not, I don't like that shit. There's no... Oh, shit. I think I found it. There's a filter. How does filter solve any of the problems that I have right now? I saw you talking about filter multiple times. How does it solve any of my problems? Could you tell me? Return a new array containing elements of array of which the given block returns a true value. Exactly, it doesn't solve any of my problems. I have no idea why you're suggesting it. Okay, so now. Why are you suggesting filter? Like, how does it solve any of the problem that I have right now? Seriously. What? So, let's continue. Oh, last algorithm. Hello. And to be fair, I don't have any problems. I already know how to solve things, so I don't know why you're suggesting anything right now. And so persistently as well, like, what the fuck? Okay, so now Take while. Okay, this is actually useful. Take while empty. What about not empty? Is it possible to do something like not empty with the same idea? Like, yeah, I guess. All right, so that means we'll have to suffer, unfortunately, because I need to do not empty, unfortunately. Then we're gonna drop one. All right, so can I then put the fields like this? So here are the fields. After that, what's the next thing in the sample? What's the next thing in the sample is ticket, right? This is a ticket. Take while. It's actually the same here, if you think about it. It's actually the same, right? Take while, and input also repeats like that. And then this is the ticket, all right? And afterwards, what's the last one? Nearby tickets. Okay, nearby. We can call it my. Yeah, it's gonna be my and nearby. And I want to also align everything like so. Align everything like so, and we don't really care about input anymore. And let's go and see if it's gonna do anything for us. By the way, I forgot to do a makefile thingy. Right, let's do a makefile. So main RB is gonna be Ruby main RB. Main RB, and it's going to be inputs, and we're also going to depend on all of the inputs that we have and what kind of inputs we have. Right now we're going to have only sample. I'm not going to run it on the input yet unless we already solved everything, right? So that should be okay. And now if I do make, it doesn't work because undefined local variable tickets. Oh yeah, because I renamed it to main. All right, so let's try to run it one more time. And undefined local nearby. Okay. Yeah, nearby, and there you go. So maybe it would make sense for me to split them by something like this. And boom, I split them up correctly. What's funny is that for my ticket and nearby tickets, I don't really care about these headers, so I should be able to do something like drop one and drop one here, right? So I can just, you know, remove all of that shit from there. There you go. So, and now I need to learn how to parse all of that shit. Yeah, I need to learn how to parse all of that shit. Is there any way to define like a class or structure? I'm brain farting. What other language has similar lambda syntax? Are you? Yes. Yeah, I knew that you're trying to debate people. Yeah. All right. So I need some sort of like a record or struct. I would assume that that Ruby being an OOP language will require you to create classes. Let's actually see how to work with classes, because I want to have a structure with fields and stuff like that. Right, fields and stuff like that. So here's the class. Okay, so we need a class for a field constraint, right? So let's call it field const, right? So field, or maybe, yeah, let's call it field. Right. So how can I add? So arguments, new arguments. So here's the methods. How do I do fields? Members, fields. I don't need any OOP bullshit. Ruby class fields. Ruby classes and attribute fields. Okay. Okay, so when you initialize this thing, you can set this kind of stuff. All right. Cool. Oh, it's actually a question, right? Okay, think about accessor name, define class. Why is it so complicated? I just wanna like a mapping between name and value. Like I don't need any of this shit. Okay, I'm gonna assume that this is how we do that. So we're gonna do def initialize, right? Initialize. And in here, struct. Okay, so Ruby struct. Oh, this is what I need. Oh yes, that's actually cool. Thank you so much. How do I use that? Struct, new struct. Okay, so if I want to do something like field, right? I create a struct new. It sort of like it simulates this kind of stuff, right? So what we're gonna have here, we're gonna have a name for the structure, and we're gonna have the ranges, right? So we're gonna have that and that. So yeah, and ranges is just an array of these things, and we'll see how it goes. Let me play with that stuff in the repo. Okay, here's the field, and I can create name, hello, and empty array of this thing, and there we go. I should be able to access that as a name. Yeah, this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what we need here. Cool. Okay. So parse field, right? Parse field, and it's gonna accept a string, something like that, and that will create a thing correspondingly. So here's the fields, and afterwards, I'm thinking I'm gonna do map. Oh, it doesn't. Why it doesn't? Okay, map parse field. So this is what we're gonna do here. Parse field. When you want to parse field, you want to split the field accordingly. So if we take a look at the sample, here is our single field. Here is our single field, and I want to split it by this thing. There you go. So that will give us that. So maybe I'm gonna just copy paste this piece of code right there, and that will give us the array. Is there any way to destructurize those things? For example, if I have something like this, can I do 69 for 20 like that? Is it possible? Is it gonna work? Haha! Shit language. Who fucking programs in this language if it cannot even destructurize things properly? Okay, so yeah. Maybe there is some other way to do that. Ruby destructuring. Destructuring with Ruby. Destructuring with Ruby. Oh, you have to do that without these things. Okay, sure. It's kind of strange why you have to do it like that. Like, I mean, it doesn't make much sense, right? Because the shape of the destruction should be the same as, like, okay, sure, whatever. Really strange language, I'm gonna tell you. Name and row ranges, right? Not ranges, but ranges. There we go. And we can do the following thing for now. Do I have to return things? By the way, do you need to return in Ruby anything, or does it just pick the last expression and returns it from the procedure? Ruby return. Let me see. String keyword in this article. Explicit, implicit return. Okay. Oh shit, this is a very slow website. Oh, it's a medium.com. I mean, I'm not surprised. Implicit return. When return is an explicit. Why are you jumping around? Stop fucking web in 2020 is such a trash. Stop jumping around. Okay, I'm reading. Implicit return. When return is an implicitly called within the method, then really returns the value of the last executed. Okay, so it's a classical situation, right? So that means I can do the following thing. Struct, it's not a struct, but field new name, and I'm gonna do the following thing. It's a row ranges. Okay, so that enables us with parsing things like that, and it didn't work. A wrong number of arguments. Really? Do I really have to do that stupid syntax thingy or whatnot? Like, is that what I have to do? Or something? Really? No? Seriously? Why is this so inconvenient? Why are you so inconvenient? Seriously, do I really have to do it like that? Do I really have to wrap it in Lambda? Otherwise it's not gonna work. Do you even support higher order functions? It's so sad. And people say that this is a good language somehow. I don't know how, but it doesn't really look like a good language to me. Sorry. Anyway, so we have a row ranges, and what we want to do with these row ranges, we want to also split them by OR, right? So we want to split them by OR. So here's the function. I'm going to split 0 OR, and there we go. So, and after that, we'll have to, you know, parse everything appropriately. Split OR. They skipped. Yeah, this is because we have an advent of code in place. Advent of code in place. So let me see. So here's a split, and so after that I want to map all of that shit. And this is a single range, and I'm gonna split this range by this kind of stuff. And again, I can just try to experiment with that here as well. It's gonna be map r split dash, and yeah, so after that I should be able quite easily. Can I even have like several lines in this lambda? How would you even do something like that? How do you do several lines in lambda? Ruby lambdas. I need to read more about lambdas. Do end. Oh, that actually makes sense. Thank you. That's actually cool. And do I have to? I don't understand. Okay, I need to Google that. Ruby do end. How do you do that? Do end versus curly braces. Just show me example. I don't care like about like philosophical explanation and fairies and you know unicorns. Nobody gives a shit about that. Just give me example. Okay, so it's do. But what about multiple lines? All right, so maybe it's a problem like with my Emacs. It doesn't automatically do things. Yeah, it probably does not, you know, align things appropriately right away, which is kind of sad, but okay. So this is going to be low, this is going to be high, and I'm going to assign it here. And I think I can do something like, you know what? I'm not going to do shit. I'm going to do it like this. Map and what was that? To I think that's how we're gonna do that, and because of that I don't need too many like several lines here, so I can just do it like that. And yeah, and here I don't really have to do it like this because it's already a list of these things. Let's try to run that. And did I forget to save that or something? Excuse me. Oh, because I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's actually make it like this. So here's what we have to have here. And yeah, there we go. So you see, we have a field name and its ranges. But what the fuck? Why do we have? Wait a second. What the fuck is going on? Why is it different? Okay, so we have fields. Okay, what if I don't map them? They're like that, but if I map them... Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm sorry, I had coded this thing. Okay, so everything's okay. Now we're capable of parsing all this shit here. Nice. So I was just experimenting with things, I didn't realize that it's like that. Okay, so, and in here I suppose I want to parse this thing appropriately, hopefully. So this is just a single string. To be fair, if I have a list of a single argument, like hello, right? Can I assign it so, yeah, can I extract like the first head of it? I can! That's amazing! That's exactly what I want. Holy shit, this is so cool. Okay, so, and then I have a my ticket, right? So I drop a single thing. Or maybe I can just, you know, take a single thing as well. I can just take a single thing, so I can drop it, then I can take it. And after that, I know I can split it by by this thing, and then I can map it by doing something like to I, and that's exactly what I want to do with my life. It didn't work because undefined method split. Wait a second. So I have an input, I drop a single thing. All right, that makes sense. And then I want to take only one thing here, so I don't quite understand why it won't work. Right, because obviously it's that. So Ruby's fun. Sure, it is fun. I don't know. It's a very basic language, I would say. I've seen more interesting shit, to be fair. Like, so far I'm not impressed, seriously. Okay, it's a language, it's a scripting language. It has ifs, it has procedures, it has force. It has some, you know, functional programish things. Cool. I haven't seen so far something that I've never seen before, to be fair. Very basic language, nothing special so far. Okay, so that's really strange. I can take one, but that's really strange. Can I do like a length of the string? Length. Okay, so if I take the length of the, I don't know why I'm looking for a length. It's 1. Huh. Wait a second, what does take? Oh, I don't need take. Okay, can I do the following thing? Can I do 0? Okay, so this is basically what I need here. It's gonna be 0. Right, it's gonna be 0. And then we can split. Okay. All right, that's exactly what I want here. And once I split it, I want to map it to integers, right? So this is how we're going to do that. It's going to be 2i, and there we go. It's kind of strange why it doesn't give me the array. Like, why does it print it like that? It's kind of weird. Is it even a correct thing? So is it even a number? Okay, x plus 1. Can I do x plus 1? Yes, I can. So it is a number. All right. So, and that's cool. Maybe we could extract this kind of stuff to a separate function as well, because we have to do that quite often. All right. We'll need to do that the second time. I don't know what it was, a Silicon Valley, a Soviet Union. Okay. Def. Okay. Parse array. Right. And so, and this is what we're going to return here. To be fair, maybe fuck it. Maybe it's not that important. So, okay, speaking of nearby, right? Speaking of nearby, we have to do a similar thing, but we'll have to map all of that. So this is the input, and we'll have to do that for each individual input here as well, right? So pretty much the same thing. We'll have to split by that, and then we'll have to map it with this. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna give me what I want? Almost, but it's really strange. Like, can I print it? Can I print array the same way it is printed here? Like, this is a really dumb way of printing it. Like, can I just print it like that? Is there any way to dump a variable? Ruby dump a variable. So for debug purposes, how to dump a variable? Okay, tell me all of your secrets, Ruby. I need to know that. Do you even have any pp? Okay, so let's give it a try. pp. Is that a third-party dependency? Oh, it's not. Thank you so much. This is actually pretty useful. Nice. So I'm gonna use pp instead of puts from now on. All right, this is quite oh yeah, so yeah, that's cool. So as you can see, we managed to parse all of this shit. How about that? I bet you didn't expect that I will manage to do that, huh? Fucking doubters. So this is how we silence doubters on this channel, chat. This is how we do that. Alright, fields, my nearby, and let's put it like this. And here is the whole thing. Here's the whole thing, and I might as well. Can I make it a structure of some sort? That would be actually kind of cool, I think. By the way, can you like sequence this thing? Like, I mean, create like intermediate structures. Let me show you. So imagine I want to have a structure, but I don't want to define it. I want to do something like this, and then I do new for 69 and 420. Will that work? Holy shit, it works. This is actually pretty cool. So I might as well maybe, since I'm not gonna use this field that often, but yeah. So what I'm thinking is that we can do something like struct new fields my nearby, and then we're gonna do new, yeah, double new, and there we go. Okay, so we parsed everything here, and so we're gonna do here. I want to assign this thing, but the only thing I can think of to assign it to is input, but input is already taken, so I need to call it something different. I want to call it something different, and the question is what I'm gonna call it. What I'm gonna call it? It's so difficult. Okay, input. Let's call input content. How about that? Yeah, let's call it content. There we go. And then I can call this thing an input. And we'll introduce another function called part1, which accepts that input, and then later we're gonna have part2, which also accepts that input. Cool. Now, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Part1 input, and here's where we'll be able to accept field and my and nearby and so on and so forth. So what we need to do is find the fields that do not comply with anything. So they're not valid for any field. So they show you that it's a single field, but does it really have to be a single field? Could you have like several fields that are not valid for any of those things? I think you should be able to. But anyway, yeah. It's kind of funny how I spend like an hour parsing input in Ruby. That's nice. In my case, it was only ever one invalid field in each. Interesting. So, whatever. I really want to have a cup of tea. So, yeah, so the most tedious part here is just parsing all of that bullshit. Yeah, whatever. So we'll need a function that checks is value valid. Is field value valid, right? And we probably want to do actually like a question mark, because as far as you know, in Ruby you can have question marks, and because of that you don't need is field value valid. And here we're gonna accept a value, and we're gonna accept the field. Right, and that's it. And what we're gonna do here is essentially we're gonna take the ranges, right, for, and I would assume that you can destructurize them like that, right? Do we have to do? Yeah, do and. Right, and if low, so value has to be inclusive, right? Value less than high, and if it's not, right? If it's not, do you have then and, And what I have to do here is I have to instantly return like false, I suppose, and here I'm going to instantly return true. So yeah, so this is how we check. What are you talking about, Scott Dev? So it's inclusive, right? Yeah. I'm slow. You're too slow. Too easy. Piece of cake. So, okay, this is the function that we'll need. So that's what you get for backseating, by the way, right? That's what backseater get. They get delayed by the stream. So I'm gonna make a cup of tea, and maybe somebody has any questions while I'm making a cup of tea. How do you like Ruby so far? I hate it. Worst language I've ever programmed in. Next question. So, yeah. It's not PHP 8. Exactly. It's not PHP 8. So feel free to ask me anything or maybe say something to me, right? So you have an opportunity to tell me something. You have an opportunity to tell me everything you think about me and not even get banned for that. How about that? So, but maybe you want to just ask a question. Ruby, PHP, or Pascal considers those experience? What? All of them are trash, is that what you mean? How are you today? I'm fine, I suppose. Haven't eaten much today, to be fair. I'm a little bit hungry right now, but I'm gonna eat after the stream, after I finish this thing. Is any real-world applications written in Ruby? Well, there is one that Microsoft recently bought. Is there a hated programming listen of your... Yes, there is. So there is even a question, what is your favorite programming language? And the list is there. Do you regret starting with the more familiar languages since you know... No, look at FAQ. Do you know the Perl programming language? I heard about it. Not that I care about it. Alright, so... yeah, again, chat. We are living in a post-language era. Forget about languages. That's it. The era of languages has finished. Language doesn't matter anymore. Don't think about it too much. Language doesn't matter. Coming. Hello. How everyone's doing? So what are you guys doing? Still bike shedding about languages? So, what do we need to do here? So here's the input, and we need to ignore our ticket for now, right? So that means we're gonna do something like input is parental language programming, yeah. So it's gonna be nearby, and yeah, so this is a ticket that we're iterating here. So this is a nearby ticket, and for each nearby ticket, Streamer thinks we're prepared. I'm just pulling you like, don't worry about it. I'm being ironic, I good duke. I'm being ironic. Don't worry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just haven't had my tea today, so that's why I'm so salty. So. Okay, so in a single ticket, what do we have here? We have all of these fields, right? So it's going to be value for ticket, in ticket. Right. So here's a value in ticket, and if field value valid, right? So here's the value. Oh, and we have to iterate through all of the fields here as well. That's very interesting. So field value, it's only for a field value. So maybe we need another function here. First, invalid field, right? So we provide the ticket, and we provide the fields that we expect, like the fields definition, right? And we iterate all of the values in the ticket, right? Then we are iterating all of the fields in the field specification, right? In the field specification, and we're checking all of that. If field value invalid, right? So we provide what? We provide the value, we provide the field. If that thing is invalid, so it has to be invalid for all of them, right? It has to be invalid for all of them. Okay. Oh my god, I'm brain farting. I need to wait for my team. Okay. Is the ticket? Here's the field. And if it's valid, that means we have to break out of the loop. Right, we're breaking out of the loop. If it turned out to be invalid for all of them, we essentially return that value. That's what we do here, right? Hopefully that's how it's gonna work. And then we can do it like this, right? I want to double check that I did everything correctly. Field value valid. We iterate through all of the ranges and we check if they're not with the ranges. So if something is not in the range, we instantly return false. If we went through, it will be true. So for each value, for each field, if field is valid, so this is a field that we do care about. There we go. If some of them is invalid, we instantly return it. Okay, and then first, invalid field, we provide the ticket, we provide the fields, right? We provide the ticket, we provide the fields, and so the thing has to be the sum. So we need to do something like result this, result plus equal that, and we're going to return the result. I'm not even sure if this will work, by the way, in Ruby, but I will just assume that it does. And afterwards, I'm going to do puts part 1, right? It's going to be part 1, like this. There we go. So that should be the part 1 solution. How about that? How about that? But you didn't expect me to actually come up with a solution that quick. Does Ruby enforce indentation like Python? I have no idea. But it does have semicolons, and I suppose you have to put semicolons when you put everything in a single line. Maybe it just... I don't know. I don't care, to be fair. I'm gonna just solve this problem in Ruby, and then I'm gonna forget about it. That's how it's gonna go, chat. That's how it's gonna go. First try. I'm not sure if it's gonna be first try, because I was just, you know, dumping the code into the file without checking anything. I'm not even sure if it's gonna run right now. So let me give it a try. Okay, so you see, it's not correct. It's already not correct. So what did you expect from me? So let's put it like that. And so it was 7, 4, 7, 55, 38. It was really strange. To be fair, sometimes, okay, so what's gonna happen if you actually be here? So what if it's completely valid, right? What is if it's completely valid? We can just try to return -1, right? So we can just return. By the way, my tea is ready. My tea is ready. Not ready. Tea is ready. I mean, the kettle. The kettle is ready. Okay. So. Okay. Good. So what we need to... It's kind of strange, like how... Yeah. So I'm gonna put it like this, and if x is greater or equal than 0, then I'm gonna just print it and see if it's correct or not. We'll see how it goes. And I think it is in fact correct. Almost. 555 50. Why there's 4 of them? Why does it return 7? I think I know what was the mistake. I think I know what's the mistake. It's one of those situations. I need my tea. I need my tea. I need my tea, I need my tea. So first invalid field. I go through the values of the ticket. I go through the fields of the fields. If the field valid, I need to break out of the loop and go to the next value. So if it is invalid, that means it's going to be invalid for all of them. So I instantly return the value. How can I get Trusted to send one link? If you asking how to get Trusted, forget about it. You already disqualified for being trusted. Okay, so all right. Ticket first invalid, and the indication that first valid is that. Okay. For value in ticket. One more time. For value in ticket. Right. So each value. For field in fields. Okay. If field value is valid, right? If it is valid, that means we found a single field for which that value is valid, so we break out of that loop to move on to the next value, right? To move on to the next value. What's funny is that, okay, so I think, yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what's going on. So, valid true, right? Valid false, right? So initially it's going to be true until so it's false, then it's going to become true, right? And if it's not valid, would Useless Pony please read the title? I would really appreciate you if you read the title, please. Okay, so if it's not valid, we instantly return that value. We instantly return that value. After that, I'm gonna return 1. I hope I didn't make the mistake again. Right. So I iterate through the values. The field is going to be initially invalid. Once you encounter at least one field for which it's valid, is going to become valid, true, and we're going to skip through all of that. Right. So hopefully well, the code looks different from what I actually initially wrote, and it still says why 40 is incorrect. Like, it says that 40 is incorrect, but it's not true. Okay, so let me try to look at that inputs. For some of them we have ranges. Okay. Oh, it's or. Okay, if it has to be the same here. Oh my god, I was actually rushing too much. All right. So, yeah. So we need to find for, yeah, if it is correct, it's, oh my god, if it's correct for at least one of them, it's going to be true, otherwise it's going to be false. Right. So there we go. So we iterate through all of the things. If it's valid for at least one of them, it's going to be that. And there we go, 455. Okay, and then I can start. Okay, so I see. Oh, I'm Pepega. So 70 and wait a fucking second. Why 12? Excuse me. $455.12. You want to return 0, not -1. Why do I want to return 0? Ah. Okay, that's... It's not about returning 0. 771. Okay. It's not about returning 0. Now, okay, it works. It works for the part 1. Also, do we even announce the file which we read? I don't think so. Puts input file, and it's gonna be file path. There we go. So here's the input file, here's the pretty printing situation, and this is the part 1. Okay, so let's start. Maybe I don't want to print the input like this. I don't think it's that useful. Okay, and I'm gonna go to the make, and I'm gonna include input.txt. There we go. So this should be the final result, hopefully. Let's see, and first try, motherfucker. How about that? Yes, sir. Can your Python do that, by the way? First try. Yeah. Let's continue to the part 2. Oh shit, it's too much to read. I hate these descriptions. Now that you've identified which tickets contains invalid values, discard those tickets entirely. Use the remaining valid tickets to determine which field is which. Alright, so using the valid ranges for each field, determine what order in the field appears on the ticket. The order is consistent between all tickets. If seed is the third field, it is the third field for every ticket, including your ticket. For example, suppose you have the following notes. Okay, so this is a sample 2 as far as I can see. Sample 02 txt. And is that the same? I think it's different. This time. So this is sample sample 01. So, and we want to include all of them here. So sample 02 txt. Cool. The following notes: based on the nearby tickets in the above example, the first position must be row, the second position must be class, and the third position must be seat. You can conclude that in your ticket class is a 12, 11, okay. That's very interesting. What do you get if you... So, okay, how much data do we have in the input? How big is the data? The data is actually quite small, just like my PP. Ah, nice, okay. Let me see. So essentially we can try to, you know, check for how many fields that particular value is correct, and check that for each fields in each ticket, and just find the intersections. You know what I mean? Just find the intersections, and based on these intersections, we will be able to, you know, determine the fields and stuff like that. Should be pretty straightforward. Now, so what do you get if you multiply this? Okay, based on the nearby tickets. Am I reading the correct thing? As a nearby tickets in the above example, the first position must be row, second position class. You can conclude that in your ticket class is 12 and seat is 13. Once you work out which field is which, look for the 6 fields on your ticket that start with the word departure. What do you get if you multiply those 6 field values together? The generate custom input for each player according to the PP size. you have to submit it when you register on the website. So yeah, that's the main requirement. All right. You know, photo and stuff. Anyway, so all right. So let's start with a little bit of experimentation, shall we? So here we have a part 1, and we're gonna introduce a part 2. Right, so here it is. Part 1 and part 2. But we also need to filter out everything that is not a valid ticket, right? First, invalid field. I want to introduce a function that would also tell us something interesting. So, for example, ticket valid question mark, and we have to provide the ticket and the field, and we're going to implement that in terms of the first invalid field. So essentially, first invalid field for a ticket fields, and it's valid when it's greater or equal than 0, right? Something like this. Something like this. So this is a ticket valid, and that will enable us with filtering out invalid tickets, right? So I can do something like input nearby filter. Finally, we can use filter, chat. Who was suggesting to use filter for parsing input? Where is that person? Actually, several persons. Now we have an opportunity to use filter. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? All right, so here is the ticket, right? Here is the ticket, and I'm gonna do ticket valid. I'm gonna check whether this ticket is valid, and it's gonna be input fields. There we go, and that will give us valid tickets. Wait a second, it has to be actually less than 0. Excuse me, almost made a huge fucking mistake, mate. Valid. Valid tickets. So here are the valid, all of the valid tickets, and I want to probably print them with PP, with my PP. And let me see. So here we have that. I want to exclude input for now, so it does not, you know, interfere with my experimentation. And I forgot to run part 2. Would you look at that? I forgot to run part 2. So it's gonna be puts part 2. This is Python 5. Such a funny joke. You're a funny guy. My god, thank you for selling me such a funny joke. Okay, so what do we have here? So filter doesn't really work. Undefined method filter. God damn it. Okay, so 55. Why did it work though? Why did it work? Ticket valid. Ticket valid. Ticket valid. So maybe I don't know how to use filter. Maybe I don't know how to do that. Ruby array, not rub array. God damn it. I mean, it worked anyway. So a filter, cool. Select. Why the fuck is it called select? Well, what? Filter? Select? Filter? What the hell is wrong with these people? Okay, it's an alias, so that means it doesn't matter. Or, okay, select. Holy shit, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Okay. Okay. Sure. So in this case, like in case of like a sample one, we have only a single valid. This one, all of these things are valid actually. All of the things are valid. Now, so here we have valid tickets. What do we need to do with them? So I can take the first ticket, right? I can take the first ticket. Yeah. So let's introduce a function. Let's introduce a function. Valid fields for ticket, for value. Yeah, valid fields for value. So you accept the value and you accept the fields, right? And here we're going to do the following thing. Sample one is useless for second. Thank you. My God, thank you so much. Okay, fields filter. Select. I'm sorry. Select. Select. Field. So this is a field, and value has to be fields low value. It's not the fields, it's a single field. Field high. Cool. So what I want to do here, by the way, I want to take actually the first ticket here, right? I want to take the first ticket here, and for that ticket I want to print all of the value of valid fields for it. I wonder if it's gonna work. We'll find out. So this is the thing I am trying to do here. And valid fields for value. We provide the value. The value is actually, oh yeah, okay, so that means we'll have to iterate the values. We'll have to iterate those values for value in this. Okay, so that's going to be the value. That's going to be the value. Here's the value and here's the fields. Hopefully it will do a pretty printing here, so we'll see better, but I don't know. I don't know about that yet. I don't know about that. Of course it didn't do anything, so we don't have a fields because we have to access them from the input. We have to access them from the input. And there's no low, because what is it called? What is it called? It has to be called low, but it's not. Wait, what? Field, low, high. What? Did they actually did the fucky wacky? Oh, you have to iterate through the ranges. Oh shit. Okay. Oh. Yeah, because they have ranges and shit. Oh, it has several of them. By the way, is there any, like... The general, there's only 2 of them, right? There's usually 2 of them. Oh, this is such a boring task. It's just, you know, pile on top of pile on, like, you know, complexity, and there's nothing interesting. It's such a like, really not satisfying task. Mundane. Hopefully the next task is gonna be more interesting. All right, so yeah, we have to like, here's the single field. Within that field you have to iterate through the ranges, and so can I do something like this? Do and yeah, so select the do and I suppose I have to do it like this field, right? So this is the field, and in here, for each individual field, you could say that the next task is a repeat of the previous day with added complexity. Ah, okay. So yeah, this is basically like a complexity management, to be fair. Nothing particularly special. Field ranges. So here are the ranges for low, high. For low, high in range, we do what? So if one of them is correct, we automatically return true, right? We automatically return true. If one of the field range, actually, I'm sorry. If one of the fields ranges correct, so the field is correct. If it's not, we instantly gonna return false. Okay, so that should do the trick. That should do the trick. Okay, can I, no, run it now? This is not what I wanted, to be fair. Select. Why? I wanted to have like a list of those things. Excuse me. Where can I have a list of those things? Why did it return true? Wait a second. When I did return true, did it return from this procedure instead of like inner do and thing? Really? Wait, what? Is this even a lambda? Is this even a lambda? I'm not sure, chat. Is this lambda? Try inspect. How does it answer my question? Ugh. Why are you guys constantly asking questions that I never ask? Okay, Ruby lambda. I think it should return an array. Why select doesn't return an array? Well, like, I mean, I don't care what returns array or what not. My question is, why does it act like that? Like I need an explanation. That's what I need. That doesn't explain anything. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? It's just doesn't explain anything. Okay, so I'm getting angry at the language again. God damn it. Return in Lambda. How to use Lambda in Ruby? Because I would expect if you do a return in Lambda, Yeah. Language doesn't matter. You get them right. You get them right. Language doesn't matter. Procedure. Okay, so there's a difference between procedure return and lambda return. A block shouldn't be a lambda, right? You ask me? You think I know how to program in Ruby? Like, I see this language for the first time in my life. Like, why do you asking me? So cool. Maybe we can try to conduct an experiment. I mean, we're already kind of conducting an experiment, so if I'm gonna return true, what if I return 69? Yeah, it does return 69, so that means it returns from... Okay. So do... I think I understand what's going on. Ruby lambda. Show me the lambda. How to use lambda? Okay, how to use block? Understand Ruby blocks. So this is a block. Okay, can I do lambda? How do I construct? I can also take arguments. All right. So what if I do something like... So this is the lambda, if I understand correctly, right? Oh shit, wait a second. Yep. So this is the lambda. And maybe I can do it like that now. Will it work? Nah, it's not gonna work. This is so inconvenient. Okay. So let's do the variable the variable trick. Let's do the variable trick. It's gonna be valid false. Right. This is a valid false, and when I like do something like this, I'm gonna say valid true. This is a valid true, and I break out of the loop, and I return the valid here. All right. So that's what we're gonna do here. I don't need semicolons. I do know that, but Emacs stop. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, we had to do this stupid. I didn't know that if you return from block, you don't return it. You return from a whole procedure. It's really inconvenient. But I guess they have a special like syntax for that. Maybe we have to use lambda, but I don't really care about this language that much to research it. So okay, here's the fields, and I want to map all of that. So here's the field, and I want to take the field's name. I'm going to take the field's name, and I just want to see only the field's name. There we go. So this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. So, and then, this is only for a single ticket, right? This is only for a single ticket. We might as well take an index. So in Ruby, for each index, find the current index in each loop. So I would assume that maybe it has something like this syntax, like a lot of... you have to do each with index. Okay, we can try to do that. So it's going to be valid ticket each with index. You're very fast. So it's going to be I value like this, and we're gonna have index like this. Right, it's gonna be index. Cool. And it still prints the value because the index is the second argument. Haha. Okay. All right. So here are the indices. Cool. So here are the indices. Nice variable switch. Yeah, I know. It's so convenient. Holy shit. So let's actually go through several tickets as well. Each, I'm gonna do it like this. So here is a single ticket. Yep, here's a single ticket. And for that specific ticket, we're gonna do a ticket each with index. So here's the value. And before I'm gonna print any of this stuff, I'm gonna also indent it a little bit so it's a little bit easier to read. And I'm gonna also do PP on this thing. There we go. So here are the things. So what we can see here, essentially, we can see the intersections between all of the fields here. So if you consider the intersection, you will notice that the only common field that they have is the row. So the first thing has to be row. Yep. Cool. So maybe I'm gonna yeah. So I'm just thinking how we can do that efficiently. We can turn it into some sort of a union, Ruby union. Not, are you serious? Okay. Union for the array. Union for the array. Okay, that's pretty cool. So essentially, you can take this thing, right? Union, and then the second thing, right? Like this. And I'm gonna put it here. And no method union for array. Thank you so much. Is that a third-party dependency of some sort? It feels like it's some sort of third-party dependency. Okay, Ruby array union intersection. Maybe it's an intersection. Maybe that's what it's called. Oh, that's cool. Wait a second. You can do shit like that? Huh. Oh shit, that's cool. Look at that. You can find an intersection by using this operator. And union... Yeah, I actually need the intersection, not union. Yeah. So that's gonna be this thing. That's pretty cool. So they have a special operator for this kind of shit. So this is something that we can use in the future. All right. So how can we do all of this? I'm just thinking. So if we find the intersections between all of them, what would be the easiest way to do that? Like, can I zip a lot of like arrays together, or like transpose the matrix of some sort? That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. So I want to make a small break, by the way, because I want to pee. I really want to pee. So let me close all of that. So, small break, fold intersection. I don't know. All right, let's make a small break, and you guys have fun. Okay, welcome back. So the thing I want to do, I want to transpose this thing, right? I want to transpose it and then merge them together. So, okay, let me try to do that. For valid tickets, I'm gonna map. So here's a single ticket, right, like this. And for the ticket here, I'm mapping it like so. So it's gonna be do value. Hello, unfamiliar. Hello, said Johnson. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So valid fields, and we're also taking the names of them, right? That's what we're doing here. So let me see. So valid tickets map, and I want to do a PP on that thing. And all of that is an enumerator, which is kind of meh. I would like it to, you know, return me an actual thing. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted. So then I want to transpose them. Transpose them and merge the corresponding fields just to see what's going to happen. So this is the part. Oh yeah, since I returned this anyway, so I don't really need to do a PP here, right? I can just do something like this. Yeah, so so the first part is not that useful, but this one could be pretty much useful. So here's the first thing, right? Here's the second thing, and so on and so forth. So I basically need to merge these things, like the columns here. The columns. So maybe you can just Google Ruby transpose. Transpose. There's well, it redirects me to this API doc yet again, which was not very useful. Latest stable class transpose. Okay, so if I try to do something in a Ruby like this, right? So here's that, and then I can say transpose. It doesn't really work. Like everything from this website doesn't work ever. Like I don't even know what this website and why does it provide so many useful functions, but none of them work. Maybe because they're third party, but it's okay. So maybe it's available in some of the versions here, but I'm not sure which version of Ruby I have here. Right, so 255. So it's 255 and it's still not available. So it's whatever. So yeah, turn rows into columns in Ruby. Okay, so how would you do something like that? The hard way. Okay. Easy way to do this is using a transpose. Did I misspell it, by the way? Did I just misspell it? So if I take this thing and I save it to here, right? I save it to here. So here it is, and then I can do transpose. Oh, I misspelled it apparently. Yeah, I think I just misspelled it, but you can essentially just transpose them. That's nice. So essentially what that means, I wonder if it's going to be too slow. Maybe it will be, maybe it will not. i3 config. I don't really know what you guys are talking about. You can find my .dot files here, and my i3 config is actually completely unmodified. Well, I added a couple of additional bindings, and to be fair, I don't understand why people keep asking me about my i3 config. I literally use whatever i3 generated for me. Like, what do you want? Just let i3 to generate config for you, and you're gonna have the same setup. As easy as that. Transpose. Okay, so we transpose this thing, and after that I want to map it, and yeah, so this is gonna be that, and we're gonna have like columns, right? So this is a column, and inside of that column, I wonder if you can actually chain this shit like that. Is this an idiomatic Ruby code, by the way? Is this an idiomatic Ruby code? This is how we program in Ruby, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna even work, we'll see. So for each column, so you transpose, and then you get columns, and you need to fold them. So in Ruby, can you fold? Folding and carrying. Array. Give me array, please. So what about fold now? Can you do fold? Reduce? What else people call fold? So I know there's fold, reduce. None of them work. Well, maybe it doesn't really matter because you can always just implement it yourself. All right. So so result. If I do something like this, so end 2, 3, 4 is gonna include. It actually has to be like this. God damn, this is actually so bad. We need an intersection, but maybe it's not that bad because you can do something like this. Result is going to be column first, and then you can do column each. I'm sorry, I'm just brain farting a little bit. So yeah, and then you can do something like result x, and then you can return results. I think you do have an reduce function. Am I looking at the wrong thing? I'm looking at array. Okay. Am I missing something? Maybe it's some sort of extension method. Maybe it does support extension methods. What's up, Anabot? Hello. How are you doing? So, like, I tried. Like, I tried. Hello, everyone. Really glad to see you all today. Okay, so it's doing things. It's doing things. It's really strange, like it's not supposed to do this kind of stuff. It feels like it's not doing anything at all. Did it even work? Did it even work? Okay, and then I can do... And it doesn't change anything. Because I didn't return. Yeah, I have to return it here. There we go. What's up, Annabeth? Cool. Nice. All right. Look at that, chat. So this is the intersection between all of these rows. So what we need to do, we need to find the first one with a single value, and we have to remove that value out of each of them, right? Then find another one with a single value and remove that out of each of them. So this is the algorithm, right? This is going to be the algorithm that we can try to pursue. So I'm not sure if it's going to work for our case, but there we go. So we know row, we remove it. So class is another one, we remove it. And this is how we know that the order is row, class, seat. And is that the correct order? Class is 12, so that means it's second one. Row is 11, that means it's first one. And seat is 13, that means it's yeah, okay, so we found the correct order, you see? So basically we find all the intersections and we're starting like unwinding this entire thing, something like that. The fact that the problem is solvable by defining hints to you that this method must work on your actual input, otherwise it would have a single solution. Yeah, all right, so we can try to look at the input here as well, right? And what's the intersections for the input? So here are the intersections for the input, and let's see if there is a single thing here that contains like a single field, because I'm curious. We can actually try to find that automatically, to be fair. We can try to find that out. There we go, we already found one. So there is one field that contains train, right? So there's one field that contains trains, so there's, according to all of the intersections, it's that. So, yeah. And we just have to work it out. How did you select the same text and deleted them all at the same time? Are you using Vim? Yes, I'm using Vim. This is the, you know, the functionality of Vim. It comes with the Vim as well. All right, so, yeah, that's cool. But the question is how we're gonna work it out. How we're gonna work it out. First of all, yeah. We need to maintain the list of all of the fields that we already processed. Right. Maintain the list of all of the fields. Okay, so intersections. Yeah, these are intersections, and we're gonna keep them there. So here are the intersections. I want to kind of also do each. But seriously, I'm using multiple cursors extension for Emacs. That's how I do that. So each with index, right? Each with index, and here's the value. Here's the index. And what I want to do here, if let's call it set. Can I use it? Can I use set? I think I'm gonna call it set. If it's length equal 1, then I want to do puts index. I just want to see how many of them we have there. How many of the it didn't work. Excuse me. Oh, there's, okay, I see. There's only one here. So because part 2 somehow returned, yeah, can you just return nothing because it, that's so cool. The input contains only one that has all of the possible intersections, and you can start unwinding from there. So what about 2? So what if you have 2 of them? There's only one that contains 2. What about 3? Wait a fucking second. What? There's only usually one. Holy shit. There's usually only one of a specific length. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't have a single. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and what we can do here, we can just sort them by their length. Can we? That's so cool. What's up, Dr. Poopy? Welcome to the stream. Oh, John Poof, you're still here. This is so cool because I was thinking how we can do all of that, and yeah. You're right, Sojin Sim. Otherwise, it wouldn't have like a single solution. It must have a single solution. So, to be fair, I don't trust this website. I already checked 2 functions from this website. None of them worked, except transpose. Okay, maybe I can trust this website. I don't know. Maybe I'm being, you know, biased. But it's kind of like, it does look kind of sus. It does look kind of sus. So what I want to do here is now I'm gonna do sort by, debated once again, yes. Oh shit. So set length, sort by their length, right? 33. Yes. Yeah, you calculated the chance correctly. Exactly. So, by the way, this is a single expression. This is a single like expression, basically chaining several things together. And I think I don't even need to assign it. I think I'm gonna keep, you know, using it. I can make it even bigger, essentially by inlining this variable, so it could be like a single huge you know, expression. Okay, so this is what we managed to sort. I wonder what would be the best way. So essentially we can keep iterating through all of these things. But okay, that ruins the order. That's actually quite important. That ruins the order, I think. That absolutely ruins the order. Hello, Foxy Chmoxy. Hello, Foxy Chmoxy. Nice nickname. Yeah, so we need to preserve the order because we need to know it, right? So how are we gonna do that? So we're transposing and mapping all of that and returning the result. But can I map with index? Ruby map with index. Map with index in Ruby. Yeah, is there any way to map with index? Each with the index. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. So we can do something. Oh, this is not what I want. Each with index. Okay. How can I enumerate it then? Oh, it's an okay. I see. I think I understand it. Okay, it gives you okay, I see that. That makes sense. That makes sense. Transpose each with index, and that gives you the index here, and then we can keep the index like that, but I want to create a structure. So what kind of structure we're going to have here? So it's going to be index and fields, like names of some sort. And this is what we're going to have here. So it's going to be index and the result. And let's try to see what's going to happen here. And then when we're sorting everything, right, we're sorting it by the length of names, All right, so this is what it gives us. And as you can see here, now this makes way more sense, right? So here's the first structure, here's the second structure, and they still maintain, their index. They still maintain their index. And what I want to do here is I kind of want to fold all of that. I want to be able to fold all of that. All right, so yeah, I need to take that, remove it from here. Ruby remove element from array. Remove elements from an array. How do you remove elements from the array? Oh shit. By Ruby array. Remove. Okay. Clear, compact, delete. Okay, you can delete it. You can delete a very specific object. So if I have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can say delete 3. And excuse me? Oh, it's mutable. I see. It's mutable. Which is okay, I guess. Maybe it's gonna work for us, but that means I'll have to save all of that stuff. Fold set difference with the result on every stop sounds like a plan. Yes, it does sound like a plan. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me save this entire stuff somewhere. This entire thing. So this is a valid ticket. Might as well actually inline this entire thing too, so it looks even more epic than it is right now. Right, let me see. So this is that, and then I can do it like this. It doesn't indent properly, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Yeah, it does work apparently. Maybe I can do something like this. Well, I mean, here I can do right, and then end like this. Okay, that works. So input, take nearby, select, map all of that, and that's actually pretty cool. All right. Now, I want to save all of that. So let's call it result of some sort, maybe. And I want to iterate the result. Result each with index. Each with index. To be fair, maybe I have to do something like this. Can you do for e in 0, 5 do puts I and? You can. Okay, nice. So that means I'm going to do for I in 0. Does it include? Yeah, it does include everything. So I can do result length -1, and then I can continue iterating here. All right. So, but I want to actually start iterating from 1, right? Because I'm constantly going to be referring to the previous one. I'm constantly referring to the previous one, and then I return the result, and essentially result I and names remove. Names remove result I -1 names 0. So that's how it's gonna go. So we're going through this entire thing, and now if I try to run it, it doesn't even work. I wonder why. So let me remove that, and this works. Something is completely wrong here, I'm not sure. So what does it say? Undefined method. Oh, delete. I keep forgetting. So in my brain, I keep mixing up delete and remove. And as you can see, it didn't work. That is so fucking amazing, mate. I wonder why. So it worked only for first 2, but for the next one, it didn't. Oh, because you have to remove that from all of them. I see. So you have to remove them from all of them. So it has to be like J in. So we have to do it like that, I think. So we have to do it like that. So J, then it has to be I +1 up until the end. But I think you also have to do something like -2, just in case. Right. So in result, J specifically, names delete result I, like this. And that should actually, there we go, we got it, boys and girls, we got it. So after that, I can do something like result, looks different from yesterday. Hello, Lumgoto, welcome to the stream. So what I want to do here is, so this is a part 2. Yeah, it's gonna print it anyway. I'm gonna return 69, but I'm gonna do puts, look. So here they are. And it didn't work. No, it did work. Look. We figured out the positions of all of these mother flipping fields. How about that? We figured them out. So, yeah. So at position 7, we have a train. At position 10, we have a price. At position 9, route, and so on and so forth. So the next thing we need to do, we only care about fields that start with departure, right? So, and is it even possible to do something like your mom starts with your starts. Okay, Ruby string starts with. Is it really MonkeyOS name? It will be. Jesus Christ. So starts with. Start with. Okay, so my false. What's your previous? There's no previous name. The account was created yesterday. There is no previous name here. Cheers, by the way. All right. Okay, so let's actually filter only the things that start with departure, right? So we only care about those. Okay, so it's gonna be a result. Was a looker for a long time, decided to sub yesterday. Thank you, I really appreciate that. I really apologize that I am salty from time to time, getting angry at languages. Maybe I should stop apologizing for that, but yeah. Anyway, so filter. What do we do here? Filter, and we have let's call it X. I'm not sure how I'm gonna call it here. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that a little bit later. So, okay, start with just stop on green. Yeah, you were right on both. I don't know. It's really immature for me to get angry at languages here. Yeah, they're just languages. What happened to hair? Did it disappear? It's still there. Okay, so when I want to filter that, I want to just do X name start. Yeah, I think I was debated. Start with input. I think I'm going to take a look at the compilation departure. So here's the departure. Not gonna lie, the high level of Ruby is actually helping quite a bit with this thing. Not gonna lie. Okay, so what's that? Filter. Oh, it's select. It's select. I keep forgetting that it's a select. Undefined name. Yeah, names 0 because they are start with. Cool. So here are all of these fields that start with departure, right? And we have to take the values of those fields in my ticket, right, and sum them up. Values, this values in my ticket and sum them up. Yeah. Once you work out which field is which, look at the 6 fields in your ticket that start with the word departure. What do you get if you multiply these 6 values together? Okay, so that makes sense. Sneaky Beak, thank you. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your first subscription, by the way, and welcome to our Epic Ruby Club. That where we get salty sometimes at languages. I'm a D fan. Yeah, D actually is not that bad. Yeah, it's just... It's like a combination of C++ and Java, but somehow it took good parts of both of these languages. Well, in both of these languages do have good... Oh my god! Ivanchuk, thank you. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription and welcome to our Epic Ruby Club. By the way, you know, people who don't speak Russian, they don't know that in such nicknames you're supposed to read for as Che, because it's, you know, resembles the Cyrillic letter, you know, Che, which looks like 4. So yeah, this is how we're supposed to read. Well, I mean, you're supposed to read it like you're supposed to read like Latin as Cyrillic, and if you interpret it as Cyrillic, this is how we're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah. So LeetSpeak is just Russian. Yeah, so it's basically like a Russian version of LeetSpeak of some sort. I read Latin numbers as numbers. Yes, nice one. Okay, so we just need to get the corresponding fields, right? I filter everything off, and now I'm gonna take a look at these things, and I'm gonna map them. Right, how I'm gonna map them? I'm gonna take the input, and I'm gonna take my field, my ticket, and I'm gonna use their index, and there we go. So here are the fields that start with departure in my ticket. and now I have to multiply them. So sum array. I know that I don't need sum. You buffer. Yeah. Inject. Huh, wait a second. Ruby inject. Reduce? I couldn't find reduce. Like, it didn't exist. Okay, it combines all element by... Oh. Alright, I think... Okay, let's try reduce. Reduce... is that how I have to do that? Okay, so... And there you go. Hopefully it didn't overflow. Hopefully it didn't overflow. And it's funny how it didn't print anything for part 2, because samples don't contain things that start with departure. Isn't there a fold? Well, there's reduce, apparently. Okay, so I think we did solve part 2. And that should be the final result of part 2, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm so afraid to submit it, to be fair. And by the way, the solution for the part 2 is this huge single expression. Actually, not a single expression, but it's so... I feel so bad that I had to, you know, interrupt that huge single expression, right, with this 4, like nested 4. But this is something that had to be done. Yeah, this is something that had to be done. You can make it... Yeah, I suppose. Use delete if to keep chaining. Maybe. It's too late. Let's actually see if this is the solution. I'm too lazy, to be fair. I mean, if it works, maybe down. First fucking try on a language I never programmed before. Seriously, this is the biggest program in Ruby I've ever written in my entire life. I never programmed in that language before. So, do I like it? It's yet another language, I would say. Like, it's just yet another Python for me. That's kind of cool that you can keep chaining things and, yeah, feels so satisfying. But overall, it's just yet another language, and yeah, it was not bad. It was not bad at all. And yeah, both of the parts were first tried. And to be fair, things like transpose and union, I think. Yeah, so we used like 2 very high-level things here, specifically transpose and intersection, and that helped quite a bit. If I programmed in C, I would have to implement these things myself, but I'm glad that Ruby just provided these things. Kotlin next, maybe, we'll see about that. Ruby seems weird. Why did they even make it? Why not? Because they could. So the question is not why they didn't, not why did they make it, and the question is why didn't you make any language? So they made it because they wanted to and because they could. Why didn't you make your own language? Is that because you cannot? Very cool, impressive, I would say. Congrats. Thank you. So, is this the first try? Yes, this is like literally first try. I haven't tried Crystal. The only thing I know about Crystal is that it's a statically typed native compiled Ruby. That's it. Yeah, Elixir next. I don't know what's going to be the next language. We'll see. No bad for the first try. Yeah, it's almost like I have 15 years of software development. Yeah, not bad for the first try. It's almost like I've written code before and I know how to write code. It helped me a little bit to do that. So, and by the way, for those who doesn't know, who just joined recently, we're doing each problem in different language. So here is the list of the languages we tried so far. So Rust, Haskell, Java, D, C++, Python, Go, JS, OCaml, C, NIM, Perl, C#, PHP, Pascal, and Ruby today. And all of these solutions, they pass both of the parts. So you can find all of them here. And I'm going to submit the Ruby solution now. All right, so I usually create a README that explains how to run this entire thing. So day 16, right, and we're gonna give this thing here. There we go. Really? Oh, nice one. So if you submit this thing with a leading slash, it will return you 404. And you know what's funny is that it's absolutely correct behavior, because according to the semantic of URL, additional slash actually like different. It's a different URL. But I mean, people usually just ignore that. Yeah, it is true. It is true. For example, something like https example.com, like /a and /a are completely different resources. Seriously, they are completely different resources. So, at least according to the specifications, it just depends on how specifically applications treat that. Which language that was new to you did you like best? Okay, a solution. The solution in Ruby. It was PHP 8. Yeah, it was PHP 8, yes. It was PHP 8. Okay, install Ruby. Downloads, so this is where you can install it, and make sure Ruby is available in path, and then just do make. Yeah, so I know my Emacs is Pepega, but it is what it is. Haven't used D yet. Are you trolling me? I think you're trolling me. Oh, you sent 12, you're always trolling me, yeah. So, whatever. 16. Add day 16 solution. Alright, I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So, the solution in Ruby is already available, so you can find it here. So, and as well as all of the previous solutions so far. Right. As well as all of the previous solutions so far. So this problem was definitely easier than the previous one. It was definitely easier than the previous one. We'll see if the next day is going to be more difficult or more easier. But from what I heard, it is a little bit more difficult, and some people are not really happy about the 17th day. We'll see if we'll be able to solve it on the stream. We'll see. And I don't really know what's going to be the next language we're going to use for that. I didn't like, apparently a lot of people didn't like day 17, so yeah, apparently a lot of people didn't like it, but it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So guys, a lot of maintenance code even before you start the solution itself. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, it's one of those. What people didn't like about this 17. No spoilers, I'm not gonna read it. No spoilers, please. Oh, there's no spoilers here. Is the example provided? The problem itself is interesting. Oh, okay. So there were some problem with the example. We'll see, we'll see. So we're gonna solve it tomorrow. We're gonna try to solve it tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. Yep. No spoilers for Mr. Streamer. Yeah, so essentially I intentionally lag behind one day, so by the time I'm about to solve the problem on the stream, majority of people already solved the problem and they can easily watch without any spoilers. So that's why I'm not going to solve 17 today, and I'm going to wait until 18, and we're going to try to solve 17 tomorrow. So yeah, but in any case, today is supposed to be day off. Today is supposed to be day off, but I streamed anyway because I wanted to solve this advent of code problem. But unfortunately, boys and girls, it's time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, according to the schedule, we're gonna do a random one-off stream. So essentially, on random one-off streams, I pick a random topic and stream it for the whole stream. But since we have Advent of Code currently in place, first we're gonna try to solve the 17th problem. And if we have enough time, we're gonna continue working on a spam filter in Haskell. So this is something that I started like on the previous week. I implemented a very simple naive Bayes classifier for spam filters, like for email spam filters, and it went quite well, and it even worked. It's implemented in Haskell, by the way, but it was too slow. So tomorrow, if we have enough time, I would like to try to speed it up and maybe actually try to make it useful. So it's going to be very interesting. So that's a spam filter thingy is available here. So we'll see if it's going to work out. Of course, if we have enough time, because maybe tomorrow's problem is going to be so hard that I'm going to spend my entire time solving it. We'll see. But in any case, yeah. Check out our schedule page for more information on different projects we're working on. Also check out our VODs channel where we archive all of the streams. This stream is going to be there, but tomorrow we archive them on the next day. And also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Love you.